Welcome back to the second episode of Futardio Explained. In the first episode, we took a deep dive into Futardio, MetaDAO's brand new permissionless ICO platform that for the very first time allows builders and creators all around the world to raise a little bit of money to fund their dream projects via the internet in hours. If you haven't watched this video before or are unfamiliar with these concepts, I highly recommend you to check it out before. By the way, you can find the link to this video somewhere here. In today's episode, we're gonna cover novel primitives like continuous fundraising, capital formation 2.0, and how those new ideas empower solo founders or solopreneurs to raise money in days and ship products in weeks. Moreover, we will discuss ownership coins and other key impenetrable moats that have formed around the MetaDAO project before we then wrap up this video talking about the dream team and the strong community that has gathered around Prophet, the visionary founder of MetaDAO. And now enjoy this episode. Backing the solo founder. Now that we have seen how the Futardio launchpad looks, let me try and explain to you why it has massive product market fit for solo founders, especially those AI natives, vibe coders that are tinkering around with Claude Code and just need a little bit of initial funding to cover their AI bills. And that's also what 𝗪𝗵𝗿 said, head of research at Delphi Digital. MetaDAO was made for the solo founder, especially these days with those new OpenClaw vibe-coded things that are just uninvestable for VCs because the space moves way too fast. And another friction point for solo founder is the overwhelming implicacies with those legal structures that come when you accept investing from VCs. And Futardio offers the perfect solution for these kind of founders because you can now simply hop on Futardio and raise maybe a few hundred K and let Futardio or the platform handle all the legalities in the background, like setting up your DAO structure on the Cayman Islands, so on and so forth. Of course, for us as investors, this comes with massive risk. And by the way, this is no financial advice, just for entertainment purposes. But some projects will reach critical mass, hit real product market fit, and land these moonshots that we are all looking out for, and eventually hit 10, 100 million annualized recurring revenue, which could make up for all the losses. Then he continues that the main use case for crypto has always been capital formation, and now in the era of the solo founder, there is no better technology out there to fill this market. Of course, there is a lot of competition out there. MetaDAO is not the only platform that is offering launchpads, but they are definitely pioneering unruggable ICOs and ownership coins. And just this product to offering folks around the world to raise a little bit of money from everybody out there via the internet has definitely product market fit that only crypto is uniquely positioned to handle. And here is a beautiful picture of the solopreneur. It doesn't matter where you live in the globe. You just have an idea and you need to persuade or convince at least a handful of people out there to give you as much as 50K to start working on your project, while you share full ownership with them by issuing a ownership coin. And here are some other cool quotes that I wanted to share with you from 𝗪𝗵𝗁, another investor in MetaDAO. And he says that MetaDAO helps cloud code founders raise capital in days so that they can ship in weeks. I mean, this is incredible speed. You have never been able before to raise capital that fast. And now with vibe coding, Claude Code, Cursor, and all the other AI tools, you can have a minimal viable product out there live in a matter of weeks other than months and years. Then here we have Strategic Hash. He says, nothing excites me more than MetaDAO right now. Any solopreneur with a 200 AI subscription and MetaDAO will be able to change the world. And anybody out there with an internet connection and access to MetaDAO will be able to participate and contribute to this journey. And finally, we have 𝗪𝗪. He says, Futardio's top of the funnel are definitely solo AI founders looking for a little steamy check as large as 50K of AI credits. So one more time, raise money instantly from anyone, anywhere in the world. Here we have another beautiful post by 𝗧𝗂 stating that what Uniswap did for trading, MetaDAO will do for capital formation. And I couldn't agree more. Let us wind back the time to 2019, I guess, is the first time that Uniswap appeared. And the key innovation that Uniswap brought to the table is that now it made trading permissionless rather than going to a centralized exchange, these gate-capped trading venues where you have to go through KYC. Now on Uniswap, they enabled you to directly trade all these tokens on chain, on the Ethereum blockchain. And moreover, everybody out there had now the chance or the technical tools to become a liquidity provider as well, just spinning up a new pool on MetaDAO and provide liquidity for their token and make it accessible for everybody out there with a pure internet connection. And that's the exact same thing that is going to happen with MetaDAO, but not for trading, but for capital formation. Now, everybody out there with an idea and an internet connection, they simply can go to MetaDAO and raise money from folks out there, but also investors now, for the very first time, you can give ambitious founders your money and invest in them and then benefit from future cash flows and all the revenue that those projects will generate in the future if they succeed. And here we have another Futardio individual stating that MetaDAO feels like a glimpse of the futures. Founders can now define their vision and spin up a Cayman entity in about 5 minutes. And on the other side, we have investors that can support them and their vision by supplying USDC with guardrails so that the founders cannot run away with their money. I mean, funding folks out there in the internet has always been possible, but now MetaDAO provides these unique guardrails that founders cannot run away with the money, but also you as a token holder and investor have finally real claims to the underlying protocol by holding ownership coins, which was not the case with all the meme coins, utility coins, governance coins out there. Also, 𝗪𝗵𝘁 from TIA Research talks about Fundraising 2.0, especially enabled by MetaDAO and Futardio, and he highlights a few key features that were previously not available to investors but also founders. So he says here, number one is continuous capital raises. With Futardio, now founders, they can raise as little as 50K, which gives them probably a runway for 1 year, max 2 years, so they don't have to over-raise millions, because of course the future is pretty unclear, but if they find early product market fit, they can always come back to Futardio and raise a little bit more, because Futardio and MetaDAO comes with this unique feature that you can always mint new tokens later on, given that your current token holders or the markets agree with you, unlike other coins out there that come with a hard cap. So this is definitely a step function improvement. And on the other side, you can always be liquidated as a founder. You know, sometimes you feel ashamed if the project doesn't work out. But now, if you don't find product market fit within the first 4 to 5 months, you can simply say, hey, listen, it didn't work out. And now you can give back all the money to your investors without rugging them, but also the other way around. If investors are not seeing any product or the founder just over-promised and under-delivers, they can always claim back their money. But this is not a problem. Even if you fail as a founder 1 time or 2 times, 3 times, you can just go back to the drawing board, come up with a new idea, do a little bit more coding and work on your product. And the moment you have another minimal viable product ready, you can come back to Futardio and just raise a little bit more to keep the engine going and keep building your project. So this is super cool. You can raise fast, you can also fail fast, you can iterate fast and always come back to raise more money in like 3 weeks, in 1 month from now. Another key feature is that founders have day one accountability for whatever they do and towards their community, their investors. Of course, it is not easy to have a live coin out there. Many founders might agree on that. You know, you have all the token holders constantly complaining, asking questions. But on the other side, this helps you to become a better communicator and it holds you accountable. And of course, you get feedback in from the very first day on. You can iterate faster and you have just this massive cohort of investors and supporters that want you to succeed and help you to spread the word and do some marketing activities on your behalf. Finally, this also introduces some new investment math. He said in his post that most VCs are not interested in these kind of businesses because they might never hit a billion or $10 billion outcome. And usually VCs, they want to invest 20 million and hope for this 100x. But here you get in at a smaller stage, 50K, 100K, 500K, and projects can easily do a 10, 20, 50x. So the math still works out. And I'm personally convinced that over the future, we will see several solopreneurs that build billion-dollar companies, but even if they just manage to grow the business to 10, 20 million recurring annual revenue, that's a big, big outcome. But of course, as always with investing, do your own research, and yeah, those are very high risk plays. Now let's talk about the modes of MetaDAO. And again, 𝗪𝗂 came up with a beautiful post that I wanted to share with you. And he basically says that MetaDAO has two major modes. One is trust, and the other one is distribution. And as we know, as investors, you're looking for businesses that create this big mode around their business model, as Warren Buffett likes to say it. And then it can just keep compounding, and competitors really have a hard time to compete with them because of this mode. But what are the unique modes when it comes to MetaDAO? So first off, they are becoming the canonical rail when it comes to internet native capital formation, and especially ownership coins. There is no real competitor out there because they basically pioneered and invented this entire category. Second, they have a diehard community that formed around Prophet, this inspirational founder. There are no meaningful supply overhangs out there. All the meta tokens are out there fully circulating, except 20% of the tokens, 10% which will go to Prophet, and another 10% that will go to 𝗪𝗵𝘁, his co-founder, to keep them incentivized and just locked in over the next 5 years. And another cool feature is that everyday folks were able to invest in Meta very early on. Like, they had initially no VC backing, and the ultimate trust, as 𝗪𝗂 calls it, is Futardio, which is just nerd sniping a lot of people out there, just the way that smart contracts and permissionless money initially nerd sniped a lot of creative people. Moreover, some meaningful distribution modes have been created around MetaDAO, especially due to their partnership with 𝗪𝗪𝗿, which is an early stage investor and Solana hackathon organizer. And of course, they also invested in MetaDAO early on, and they came up with this new token standard, which they call STAMP, which creates a clear path forward for all early Solana startups that don't have a token yet, but are about to launch one in the future. And they are all being funneled into MetaDAO through this STAMP agreement, which basically locks them in and promises that these projects, should they be successful and ever launch a token, they will do it through MetaDAO. So this is a massive pipeline of promising projects going live via MetaDAO and launching a ownership coin there. And then we have this final mode of the cultural fit within the Solana community, as both MetaDAO and Solana, they have this mutual respect for free markets. And here another banger tweet of 𝗪𝗂 saying that I haven't had this much conviction in something so misunderstood since Ethereum in 2019, MetaDAO. I mean, this guy really puts his money where his mouth is, and I am super excited. I will have 𝗪𝗂 on as a guest for an interview early next week, and yeah, super happy to share this conversation with you pretty soon. Not giving in to institutions. Lately, crypto has been moving towards the institutional and TradFi way, which is good. It might definitely save some protocols out there. But me personally, as a on-chain trencher and DeFi lover, that always annoyed me a little bit. Hence, I really resonate with MetaDAO and the words that George shared here with us. He says that he has recently been MetaDAO built, and there is so much cool things going on, like ownership coins, decision markets, Futardio, the bid wall, ICOs done right, and so much more. And this is all very cool stuff that reminds him of why he got into this space in the first place. And I fully resonate with this tweet. Honestly, I am a little bit annoyed with the institutionalization of crypto and are rooting more for cypherpunk projects or innovative projects like MetaDAO to make it. Finally, before we wrap up this conversation, another tweet I wanted to share with you by 𝗵𝗵𝘁, and he is speaking about the dream team and that you simply shouldn't bet against Prophet and 𝗪𝗪𝗿, his co-founder. He says that Prophet and 𝗪𝗪𝗿 are the perfect mix. These guys together, they have a deep understanding of finance, but also of TradFi. They are experienced developers that have been around in crypto for years. I think Prophet, he used to code on Ethereum for years. And they just both have this mindset of the degenerate crypto bros. So there is no winning against them. They literally have all that it takes to win on all fronts. And if you want me to win and my YouTube channel to persist, then please guys do me a favor and hit the like buttons and subscribe to these channels. because the moment we hit 200 subscribers, I will give out 5 free access tickets to On-Chain Trenches Plus, my private community, where I share with you my real-time research, insights into my portfolio, and so much more. All right, I hope you found this content valuable. Please share it with some of your friends, and then see you in the next episode and in the On-Chain Trenches.